Hey pals, welcome back to the Disney Magical Mindset Podcast, where we help you silence the villain in your mind so you can create your own happily ever after. I'm your Disney-inspired hype guy, your Disney magic mentor, Ruben, and this week we're diving into part 2 of my series, Dangerously Consistent Like Walt Disney. Last week, we talked about starting with why. If you're going to be dangerously consistent like Walt Disney, you have to start with why. Please go back and listen to the podcast episode from last week so you can get caught up to where we are right now. Part 2. Because today, we're getting into a topic that sounds backwards, but it is absolutely essential. Here it is. You have to plan to fail. I know failure is kind of like a bad word. It's the bad word. It's the F word. We don't like talking about failure. But if you're going to be dangerously consistent like Walt Disney, you have to plan to fail. Because here's the reality. And I know, again, this is not really what we want to hear. In fact, I don't really want to hear this about myself. I don't want to fail. I'm not waking up in the morning and saying, today I'm going to fail. I'm not imagining myself failing today. No one wants that. And I know that's not what you want. And that's not what I want. But if we're going to be consistent and live a life of consistency and discipline like Walt Disney, we have to plan to fail. And that means we've got to not avoid failure because you can't anyway. You understand? Like, you're going to find moments in life when you're going to drop the ball, just like I'm going to drop the ball. And I've dropped the ball many times. It's the reality. So rather than running from it and acting like we're going to try to avoid it because it's impossible to do so, we have to embrace it. We have to just accept the fact that it's going to happen. So I would rather plan to fail. See, there's the difference. Plan to fail so I know what to do when it happens instead of allow the failure to sink me further and keep me stuck from pressing into that next goal or the next dream. Because I've been there before and I know exactly what it feels like when we fail or when we mess up. It is so easy to allow those negative, toxic voices in our mind to say, well, why even try again? Or why keep going? Just stay where you are. Don't try. Don't do this. Don't go for it. And so we have this fear of failure and we don't attempt new things and try new things because of that fear of failing. And we're going to change that today. You and me are going to change that. And I'm not saying here that we're not pretending it won't happen, because it's going to happen, but we're actually planning for it. Because here's what I need you to know, friends. Failure isn't the end. It's actually the beginning. Ooh, and that mindset shift is so powerful. If you embrace this mindset shift, it will change your perspective on failure. Instead of seeing failure as the end, start seeing failure as the beginning, like Walt Disney, as the plan of attack, just like Walt. So are you ready? Because here we go. Here's the truth. You and me are going to fail. I think we've established that already. So just hang in there with me because, again, I know it's not really something you hear about often, or it doesn't sound very encouraging, but I'm going to show you today how we're going to flip it to the positive, and we're going to create this space for failure and turn the story around so that we stop seeing failure as the end and start seeing it as the beginning. This is so powerful. Listen, you're going to miss days, right? You're going to mess up. I'm going to mess up. But that doesn't mean that you are a failure. Hear me, please. You got to get this. Zig Ziglar, he said it best. Failure is an event, not a person. It's not a person. It's an event. So you have to stop associating your failure as you being the failure. It's an event. Just like we all experience different events in life that we go to, different events and chapters of our lives, it is not you. You are not the failure. We have to simply see it as an event, not a person. And that perspective, that shift, that magical mindset shift in your story, when you start seeing failure as simply an event, not you yourself, it will change. It will change the way you see it, because most of the times we connect failure with ourselves, our identity, who we are, and we connect that failure with ourselves, with the failure. And that's what we have to change, because you are not the failure. It is simply an event. You have to press forward and step up out of that so that you can continue to keep going to where you need to go. This is such a powerful truth. And one of the biggest dream snatchers, the thing that squashes your dream is not failure. Although I know that's what we think. It's actually perfectionism. And I struggled with this a lot. I don't know if you've been there or if you feel that idea that everything has to be perfect, that if I can't do it perfectly, why even bother? Or I messed up once, so I might as well quit. And it's this constant, perfectionist attitude that if it's not the way it needs to be, or if I don't know it all the way, or if I don't get it 100% perfect, man, give me 80%. I love what John Acuff says. 90% perfect and shared with the world always changes more lives than 100% perfect and stuck in your head. Ooh, that's so good. 90% perfect is so much better. The action of striving to just do something, be consistent, get it going. Give me 80% perfect than trying to get to that 100% and just saying stuck in my head, because then that gets me nowhere. And then I don't accomplish my goals and my dreams because I'm waiting to get to a place that I never quite get to. I want it, but it's in my head, that 100%. Why do we always feel the need to make it seem like it needs to be 100? And I'm not saying that we don't strive for 100 and we don't strive to give it 110% and give it everything I've got. But I've been in situations in my life where I wanted to be at 100 or 110, and I kept trying to get there, and it almost felt like I was setting myself up for failure because I wanted it to be 100% perfect. I want my reels to be perfect. I want my parenting to be perfect. I want my social media to be perfect. And I'll spend hours sometimes going through it, trying to make it perfect, instead of just settling for the fact that, hey, man, what about 80%? What about 90%? Just give me something instead of trying to get it to a level that makes me even. And here's the thing. The funny thing is that even when I strive for 100, guess what happens? At least for me, it's still not perfect. It's still not 100 because I want it to be even better. So that's the constant challenge. And I've discovered that that's one of the biggest dream killers. It's not failure. It's perfectionism. It's trying to get it so that it's absolutely perfect before I start feeling good about it. And here's the truth. Consistency is not the same thing as perfection. The goal isn't to never mess up, friends. The goal is to always get back up. You need to say that with me, all right, wherever you are today. The goal isn't to never mess up. The goal is to always get back up. That's the key. That's the goal, because we've already established that we are going to fall. So we plan for it, and then what do? We get back up, because what will happen is when you fall, you have two options. You either get back up or you stay on the ground. And most of the times, or many times, the ones who don't succeed, the ones who don't pursue their goals, the ones who don't get to where they're trying to go to, stay stuck in the failure instead of getting back up. So when we look at Walt Disney, that's why we're amazed, because he knew that he was going to fail. He planned for it. And when it happened, it wasn't like it was a surprise. It was like, okay, fine. Let me learn from it. Let me grow from it. Let me get back up and let's go. Let's go. That's the attitude of someone who's not striving for perfection, someone who expects and plans for failure and then knows what to do when it happens. Someone who understands that perfection isn't the goal, consistency is. So for example, let's say you are working out and you're going to the gym, dangerously consistent. Every day you're doing it. And then all of a sudden you miss a day or you miss a workout. Okay, fine, cool. Or let's say you're working on your dream and every day you're doing something to get you closer to your dream. Every single day you are working on that thing and then you miss a day. And you're like, man, you get frustrated, you get upset, and sometimes you feel like you just want to give up. No, you get back up and you do it again tomorrow. That's the key. I got some wonderful news for you. You are not going to go 365 for 365 with your goals. You're not going to make it the entire year perfect. So you got to plan to fail. So that should be freeing for you. It should be like, yes, I should just embrace the fact that I'm going to drop the ball here and there. I'm going to miss a day here and there, but I'm not going to allow those misses to keep me from missing my dream and missing my goals. You get back on track the next day. It is this mindset of saying, just because I missed a day doesn't mean I need to miss the rest of the days. I get back on it. And so maybe the best approach moving forward is when you miss a day, you get back up, don't miss two. Because what happens if you miss two, then you miss three. And if you miss three, then you miss four. So change that mindset and perspective to say, if I miss a day of doing something, let me get back up and not miss two. And that subtle shift in your mindset will give you the ability to step into failure, not as something that is horribly wrong, but as an opportunity to get back up and to go for it again. Because perfection isn't the goal, what have we been saying? Consistency is. Consistency is. Two different things. I want you to pursue consistency. All right? Come on, let's do this. Now let's talk about Walt, because if anyone knows failure, it's Walt. In fact, he himself said, almost everyone warned us that Disneyland would be a spectacular failure, but they were thinking about an amusement park, and we believed in our idea, a family park where parents and children could have fun together. And you know what? He was absolutely right. Disneyland was proof and continues to be proof that failure isn't final. It's feedback. It's fuel to keep you going. And Disneyland is the perfect example of that, which is what I feel every time I step into Disneyland. I'm reminded that failure isn't final. I'm reminded that dreams do come true. And remember, when Disneyland opened, July 17, 1955, many people thought it was a disaster. I mean, there were so many things that appeared to be a failure. And let me ask you a question. Do you think Walt walked away on opening day feeling like Disneyland was a failure? Of course not. Absolutely 100% no way. Because if he thought that way, he could have said, you know what, we're going to close the park until we figure everything out. We're going to press the pause button a little bit until we get it perfect. No! Walt Disney knew that everyone can talk and say what they're going to say because people are going to have an opinion no matter what. So you got to let them say it because you can't control it anyway. All I can do and all we can do is control our response. And Walt understood that Disneyland wasn't a failure. He was going to learn from it, grow from it, take the feedback and get on up and do it again the next day and the next day and the next day. And look at what we have now, all because someone was not going to believe for 1 second that failure meant final. Remember, failure is not the end. It is the beginning. Shift your focus because whatever you magnify becomes your focus. Stop focusing on the failure or feeling failure, fearing the failure as if somehow when it happens, it's the end. No, it's the beginning. Just ask Walt Disney, who also said, "It is good to have a failure while you're young because it teaches you so much. Once you've lived through the worst, Walt said, you're never quite as vulnerable afterward. That's the mindset we need. This is the mindset of a dreamer. This is the mindset of someone who is successful. Because failure, see, Walt understood failure makes us stronger. Failure prepares us for the next step. So when we experience it, what Walt is saying is good. Because guess what? Now you know when it happens again, you're not going to let it tank your dreams and sink your goals. You're going to get back up and because you expected it. Because now you know what to do with it. The worst thing you can do with failure is allow it to flunk your dreams, right? To get an F on your dreams. That's the worst you can do with failure, is to allow it to win. Because that's what failure is out to do, is to try to make you lose. But you get to determine how you're going to approach failure. Either you're going to approach it in a very negative, sad, broken, sorrowful way, or you're going to approach it with this hero mindset, kicking failure's butt and being like, okay, so what? You got me on the chin. You knocked me down. You gave me a little knockout punch, but guess what? I'm coming back up. I'm coming back up because we're going the distance. I can go the distance. Come on. I'm going to go get knocked down, but I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep on fighting for the thing that is so deep in my heart and soul. I'm not going to let it go. And failure is not going to have the final say because failure is not final. Remember, failure is not final. It is only the beginning. Woo, you got me pumped up this day. Man, I love this. I appreciate you all, my friends. Okay. So we're going to reframe failure. We're going to reframe failure to see it not as the end or not as final, but as the beginning. I promise you keep reminding yourself that mindset shift is going to change your focus and perspective on failure. And you might have heard before someone say failure is not an option. Have you ever heard that before? Failure is not an option. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to disagree because failure is essential. And that's what I've tried to share with you today. It is part of the process to success. To become successful, you have to embrace failure as essential, as actually an option. It is going to happen. It's not that we want to fail. It's not that we are pursuing failure. It is just recognizing that it is going to happen. So we are planning for it, and now we know what to do with it when it happens. Winners, they're not afraid of losing. If you ask anybody out there who is an athlete, successful, they're not afraid of it. You know who's afraid of losing? Losers are. Because failure is just simply part of the process of success. And the truth is that we gain more wisdom through our failures than we do through our successes. You know why? Because now we've gone through it and we know exactly what to do the next time. We know exactly now what not to do, right? We've grown, we've learned. And now we can share that wisdom and the growth with other people to say, hey, I've been there. Here's what I've learned from this experience, from this fall. See, here we are running from failure, and it's often the failure where we grow the most and where we learn the most and where we're able to get to that next level because of the fall. Yeah. Oh, it's so powerful. See, mindset, we got to shift it. It's all about perspective. So instead of seeing failure again as the end, we're going to see it as the beginning. As we end here today, I want to get practical and just talk a little bit about a plan to fail without quitting. All right, we've said a lot, but what does that look like now? What can we do? What are some steps that we can take to stay dangerously consistent as we plan to fail? Number one, you got to give yourself grace. You got to be kind to yourself. And it's often hard for us perfectionists to be kind sometimes because we're always seeing what we could do better or what's wrong. And we always want it to be perfect, right? But guess what? Failure doesn't mean you're broken, because remember, failure is an event. It's not a person. It's not you. It means you're growing. You're trying. You're training. That's part of the process. Actually, it's training. Is you're learning through all of this. So be kind to yourself. Okay. Number two, debrief it. That's where you get a chance when it happens to ask, well, what worked? What didn't? What can I do differently? Don't waste your failure by not learning from it. So we have to take these moments and grow. That's the power. That's the wisdom. That's where we become better as a result of our failure. Ooh, man, that's actually good. And number 3, you try again, right? You don't give up. You try again. You keep going the next day. You get back on that bike, on the stage, on the sketchbook, on the reading, on the workout. You get back on the dream. Whatever it is, don't let yesterday's loss talk you out of tomorrow's win. And remember what we've been saying. If you miss a day, okay. Get back up. Don't miss 2. Stay consistent. Keep going. Remember, our goal is consistency, not perfection. Let me leave you with this quote from Walt. He said, "I function better when things are going badly than when they're as smooth as whipped cream." Just think about that for one moment. The man who built the happiest place on earth didn't avoid failure. What we've been saying is he expected it. He embraced it, and he grew from it. So, if you, my dear friends, want to be dangerously consistent like Walt, don't just plan your wins, plan your failures. Because that's how you build your happily ever after. One step, one brick, one ride at a time. Thank you so much for taking time to listen to part 2 of this series. Next week, I'm super pumped and excited because we're going to wrap up with part 3, falling in love with the process. Oh, you gotta come back for part 3, okay? You don't want to miss it. I appreciate you so very, very much. Much love to you today. And if this episode just spoke to you and really encouraged and inspired you, please share it with someone else. And if you've not done so already, it would mean the world to me if you took some time to write a review wherever you're listening to this podcast. This helps to get our magical message out there with the world. As always, keep dreaming, keep believing, and remember, you are the magic because the magic is in you.